What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Therapist Logan Reacts. Today we are doing another song that is kind of in the trilogy that everyone's been commenting. So shout out to everyone kind of telling me these songs and a bunch of other songs too. I'm gonna sit down and do a long list of everyone's that everyone would be wanting and stuff. But I just give me some time. I appreciate you guys' support and patience. This is the third one in the trilogy, the third one everyone's been asking for. This is the song from BTS. On Map of the Soul 7. This is Outro Ego by J-Hope. So let's jump right into it and give a therapist breakdown.
We're now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult. Ready, set, and begin.
Interesting. Definitely different style from the first two. What a great smile. Oh my goodness. So wow. I love the energy this song's kind of giving off, like right off the bat. It's like so I think there's again confliction because like the creation, the cinematography is like energetic. It kind of gives this like happy-go-lucky emotion. But there's also like an underlying like darker theme. And I think that again they do it so well artistically to kind of connect the idea with ego, especially in Carl Jung's theory, because there's this idea of egos being the conscious mind, the conscious aspect of the memories and experience and the perception of everything that's going on. You know, it's how we perceive the world kind of around us. And I think Carl Jung was looking for like an ego blind ego, where it comes to like kind of exploring different things with curiosity. Versus like assumptions or anything, but there's also like a key component of not letting your ego kind of grow to be what's called an inflated ego. You know, that's like a more maladaptive perspective and aspect that kind of like negatively influences, like, again, some different aspects of how you see the world. So I really think there's, again, a lot of those like parallels kind of running thing. Like, again, just smile. I go back every day to me of yesterday, to the life of giving up. I let myself go away. You know, and again, the ego is like, you know what I mean? Like, you want to check yourself. It's about perspective and consciousness of how you perceive the world kind of around you. And it seems like he's reflecting, you know what I mean, on his ego and what it makes him think of thing. And then again, like, there's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes. And then there's like quick restall of like going to like a hospital. I still wonder why they beckon again. Every day ask me, guess it. Nothing that will change. So I lock it up again. Close. How much love, how much joy. So it's like he's locking up the ego that, again, it seems like in his mind is like getting out of hand, and there's like an uncontrollable focus when it comes to the ego, and not in like the ego that like people typically are understand of, like ego like I'm full of myself. That's not really kind of what Carl Jung's like perspective on the ego. So I know it's probably what it sounds like, but that's not what I'm saying. If you're curious, just look up ego and Carl Jung. There's usually a pretty good explanation. There's a bunch. It goes a little bit deeper than what I can actually remember. But it seems like his ego is kind of like, again, distorting or kind of making it seem like his perspective or consciousness of his current situation is kind of going by, or kind of back and forth, and just like constantly at conflict with one itself. And so he says, I lock it up again, you know, and that's a huge statement when it comes to therapy, you know. And as a therapist, I would want to jump on that, because locking it up, especially something that has to do with the psyche, is never really a good call, especially if you're actively doing it. There's one thing to do it if it's like a trauma response, but if you're actively doing it, you're kind of just like locking up and repressing it. And repressing it can lead to some detrimental or maladaptive behaviors later on down the line, or just maladaptive thought patterns. And it would be important for J-Hope to really explore this and kind of give space for it to kind of breathe and set, It seems like it is a lot, very overwhelming. But it could be really beneficial for him to like have a conversation with us. So like in internal family systems, I know I talk about that a lot. He would kind of talk about this locked up part, this part that's been kind of ostracized, or this part that's like becoming too much for him, and kind of seeing what the intention, what the behavior, what the action, what the thought's really trying to do, and what it really means to him, like inside his like life kind of thing, and trying to find an alternative job for that specific part. So it'd just be really interesting. This was a really big statement. Let's continue on. I love how fun it is. It makes me want to dance. I mean, he's moving. So again, just like I was saying kind of before, like he's saying like 7 years of anguish comes out finally. It's like all this repressed emotion and anguish is finally being repressed. And like, again, I've said this before in some past videos, but it's such a good therapeutic saying, right? Like pain demands to be felt. And regardless of what you do to it, how much you lock up and throw away the key, however many chains you put around it, it's going to demand to be felt, and it will seep out one way or another, whether it's in relationships, your social relationships, romantic, your connections with others, your connection with yourself, you know what I mean? Whatever it may be, it will come out, and that pain and suffering will come out regardless. So you have to feel what you're feeling, or it's gonna be detrimental, And then oppression's all resolved. Into my heart come answers from the most trusted. So it's like he's beginning to learn to trust himself. It's this, again, trusting himself to kind of lead the way. And it's not like an inflated ego like Carl Jung warns about, being cautious of that, because then that's, again, it starts implementing aspects of the shadow. But it's like to find that self-love, the connection to the like closest part of the self, that's really the most important. And you're seeing different versions of himself that don't really seem to be him, like the pharaoh, the magician, whatever it may be, like it's like he's losing part of himself in that, and that's where the shadow kind of comes into play. But it's important to, again, find the closest part of yourself, and that's where your ego can thrive really beneficially. So it seems to be it's kind of where it's going, like even just like the colorful, there seems to be more color being implemented in the cinematography as well. The green screen's phenomenal, by the way. You can't even tell. 하나뿐인 hope, 하나뿐인 soul, 하나뿐인 smile, 하나뿐인 너. 세상 그 진실에 확실해진다. 변하지 않는 그 어떤 나. 이제 I don't care 전부 내 운명의 선택, so we're here. And I really like the chorus, because like it's kind of, again, it's that trust in the things, like now was it? Yeah. Now I don't care. It's all choices by my fate, so we're here. It's like, I've made decisions, and I could be regretful, I could be angry, I could be filled with anguish about what I've done, and what I've come through, and I could be angry at my past, but ultimately I'm here where I'm at right now, So like living in the present time, living in the present moment, like that's where you have control. You don't have control, and reflecting and constantly focusing on the past. It can lead to, again, more depressive symptoms. And again, future-oriented is more anxiety-prone. But it's clear that he's like trying to be comfortable with it, and it seems like he's more comfortable with it. Like I feel like in other songs, not J-Hope, but in other songs, like especially regarding these three, there's been like certain sayings or certain ways that people, the individuals are singing or stating the fact that like they're trying to convince themselves, but it's like, it sounds like he's almost like beginning to believe it at this point, you know, and that's like a really important part when it comes to ego and its connection with the self, like the closest part of the self of who we truly are. So I just think it's really beautiful, like his just voice, and like he's really starting to believe, and I just think that's really powerful. And I love seeing that within my clients as well, when they really start to reflect and see the positive things, like the positive changes that kind of come along with learning to traverse the inner complexities of who their identity are, you know. And it's just really important to find out who I am when it comes to ego and Carl Jung's theory. So it sounds like he's really just figuring out who he is, which is just beautiful down to a T.
So we're here.
It's beautiful. Like he's like reflecting on his suffering, you know, like the way I trust myself, just trust myself, way I trust, way I go, become my fate, become my core, hard it was and sad it was, still reassured, made me know myself. It's like he's recognizing the pain and suffering, like made him who he was, you know, like it's part of it, you know what I mean? Like pain and suffering is part of who you become, you know, like whether it hardens you to the cold world that you're maybe living in, or if it allows you to be softer to the next individual, you know. And again, it played a role in who you've become and what you're doing currently, whether it's positive or negative or however you want to reframe it. But it's I love that, like it's coming strong, it's powerful, it's very reflective, you know. And again, it seems to be a positive part of ego when it comes to like confidence. It doesn't seem like conflated in any sort of the manner. But I really, really enjoy this energy. Let's finish up. Ooh, I love that song. So, I mean, honestly, these three have been absolutely phenomenal. They've been killer. Like I've enjoyed all of these in their own way. Like they've definitely had some awesome therapeutic themes and topics to really discuss. Like I really think it's like a pretty dope concept, and I love that all of ARMY, everybody that's a fan of BTS, that has been able to recommend these songs, because I had no idea it really went. I mean, I knew partially that it went a little deep, but I didn't realize like to what extent. Like I didn't know how ingrained. It's kind of across the board that they like go super, super deep. I just thought it was like, oh, maybe they have like a few songs here and there, but like they really, really do their research too, which I think is really, really cool. Like you can just tell, even all the way down to the cinematography. But I really like this song. I love the energy of it. This one might be my favorite of the three that we've done this past week. I think so. But I did like Persona too. I don't know. Depends how I'm feeling, I think. Between Ego and Persona, I think are my favorite. I did like Shadow too. Shadow was really sick artistic-wise. Honestly, again, the three are absolutely phenomenal. I would absolutely throw those on, you know what I mean, to listen to again. But yeah, make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you leave a comment down below too. Was there anything that I missed? Was there anything that this song kind of talked to you about? Is there anything that it meant to you? I'd be really curious to kind of see your all perspective, you know. Like make sure you drop a comment down below and tell me what this song did for you, or drop a comment down below, rate the three that we did this week in order. What's your top favorite too? I'd be curious to see, as well as again just what you guys thought of this song specifically. And make sure you subscribe too. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 2,000. You guys have absolutely been phenomenal. You guys have helped support and create a great community, and just it's been phenomenal. I appreciate all your support. You guys have been very influential and informational through all the comments, and I appreciate that. I love learning. That's one of my favorite things. So thank you again so much. But make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Make sure you hit that button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next video. See you then.